comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
So right now it's Christmas night. I've hung out with all my family. I took like a 2-hour drive. I'm tired. So I'm going to do my top 10 worst movies of 2019 out of obligation because I really have to make this video. But I don't really want to. But I've seen every movie in 2019. I'm sure we'll make this list. So here we go. Let's do it. I'm going to be honest. This year, I'm going to turn it down because all the lights are up there. This year was so much worse than I thought it was going to be in terms of how bad it got. There were some amazing movies this year. I'll definitely express I want to make my top 10 best. Hopefully tomorrow. But point is that there were some great movies this year, but holy crap, it got really bad. Here's a reference point. I gave out the 1 out of 10 rating 4 times last year. I gave out the 1 out of 10 rating, I believe, 13 times this year. Meaning this list is not only made up of 100% 1 out of 10s, except for the 1 0 out of 10 of the year, but a lot of honorable mentions are also 1 out of 10s. And actually, this list is so bad, I had to disqualify Netflix films because I actually wanted to include some more blockbusters on this list, rather than just being boring sci-fi horror movies. So this list is really awful. So trust me when I say that all of these movies deserve number 1, just not all of them can have it. And I have a lot of very, very good honorable mentions. So let's jump into those honorable mentions and then we'll get rolling with the garbage-ness of the rest of the list. I'm going to start off really mean. My first honorable mention, honestly, it goes to Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. No, I'm not like accidentally making my best video. No. This is one of the worst movies of the year. I don't think it's one of the worst of the year. I just hate this movie so much. I hate every decision made. I think J.J. Abrams trying to correct The Last Jedi failed in every way of trying to do that, and he made a movie far worse than The Last Jedi, even though I really enjoyed The Last Jedi. Honestly, I just didn't enjoy a second of this movie. I mean, I enjoyed seconds of it. I just hate every decision made. I don't think there were many good decisions made when making this movie. So yeah, no, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker wasn't good. You know what else wasn't good? Aladdin. I hated this movie. Disney live action remakes were really bad this year. Every single one of them consistently was awful. That really does include Aladdin. I hated this movie. It's one of the worst theater experiences of the year. It didn't do anything nearly as good as the original. And honestly, it just completely missed the entire point of the original, and it wasn't nearly as fun and exciting. So no, Aladdin's garbage. More honorable mentions, because I have a lot. Let's throw another blockbuster in there. Midway. I hated Midway. This movie was long, drawn out, boring, historically inaccurate, which I'm actually fine with, so I don't know if that's very good criticism. It's just not a fun movie. It's just not an entertaining movie. It's just a super dull and boring movie. And it's really stupid. It's really stupid. And then Tall Girl, there's another honorable mention. I'm only really putting that as an honorable mention out of obligation because it's such a hated film. It's the low on Letterbox. If you took all my films and ranked them, actually I don't know if my Cats might be the worst now, but I know Tall Girl is horribly rated on Letterbox, which I don't think it's the worst movie ever, but it's pretty awful. Don't watch it. And for a couple final honorable mentions, I have all my 1 out of 10s that are honorable mentions. Wonder Park, I hated this movie. It was so boring. It was so misguided. It was just the worst. It made me want to puke. I hated it. Dark Phoenix. I enjoyed X-Men, but I hated this movie. I've talked about it for 30 minutes. Barely have to talk about it anymore. It sucks. It's just an awful movie. And then we get our Netflix films, which are Sextuplets. This movie was not funny. In the slightest bit was it ever funny. I hated it. And then my final honorable mention will go to The Silence. This movie was very high on my mid-list of the year. However, I decided to disqualify it from the list because, well, it went to Netflix. So at least it didn't go to theaters. But the rest of these films went to theaters. Except for one. Actually, I think one did. I think that one did go to theaters. But yeah, let's jump right into the trash. Oh god, this list is so... You'll see number 10 and you'll think, yeah, this list is going to be really bad. Because I don't know how number 10's only number 10, but it is.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Come with me.
It will overwhelm you until you are utterly destroyed.
In a sheer act of a complete failure, Countdown is one of the funniest movies of the year, and it's so bad it's good. Since it's not so bad it's good, it's actually really boring a lot of time. But I purely enjoyed this film on how predictable it was. It's just, the sequence of events is just so predictable. It's like nobody had, there's not an ounce of originality in this film. They have this premise and then they just were like, okay, we gotta make a plot. So they have the most confusing, stupid plot that contradicts its rules every turn. It's such an awful horror movie that it's just a blast. It's just a fun movie to watch. It's nobody should ever watch Countdown, but I had a fun time watching it. And if Countdown 2.0 is a movie, I will promise you I'm seeing that opening night. Because this movie is horrible. It definitely deserves to be on this list, but it isn't directly painful. It's kind of funny, which is bad if your movie's funny and it's not scary. This movie's not scary, just saying, it's not scary at all.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
I'm wearing this shirt. Great way to murder Disney's remake of The Lion King. Sorry. I hate Disney live action remakes so much, and I don't think this list would be complete without one, so I'll just give my worst live action remake yet. The Lion King is the worst. I hated every second of this movie. It shows that it's all in the... It's like, this movie showed that the original wouldn't work if it wasn't visually interesting. Because this movie has the exact same script as the original, and it is utter trash because it is not animated. It is animated, but it's not the beautiful animation of the original. The original Lion King is a top 5 film of all time for me. I love every frame of that movie. It is beautifully animated. The opening Circle of Life sequence is one of the best opening sequences in cinematic history, and this movie captures none of the magic. It doesn't do a single thing right. It just stretches out the plot, and they make $1.7 billion for not really trying. There are some good visual effects, yeah, kind of. They're not fun to watch, and there's no expression coming off of a real line. I've talked about this movie enough. I hate this movie from my grave. And yeah, no, never watched The Lion King 2019. Hell, you probably already watched it. It made $1.7 billion. So what do I know?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Keanu had an awesome year. Like, he really did. Like, even if Replica sucks. He had John Wick 3. He had Always Be My Maybe, which he was hilarious in. He had Toy Story 4, which he was great in. And I think there's another movie I'm forgetting. He had a lot of really great performances this year. And he even became a meme. Like a meme where the meme is that he's great. Like, how many celebrities can say that happened to them? Not many. But he can forget he ever did Replicas. Everybody will forget it. I saw this movie about a year ago, so I can't even tell you what happened in the movie. I can't remember it at all. It was just boring. It was just super, super boring, super slow, really cringy, had horrible effects. Don't watch it. It's a horrible sci-fi movie. There's like nothing for me to say. I just found this movie super boring and super painful. Boom. Never gonna think about it again. Everybody will forget about this movie. Everybody already has. Everybody forgot about it the day it came out. Nobody will ever think about this movie again, including me. This is the last time I will probably ever talk about Replicas.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Captive State. This movie sucks. I mean, every movie on this list sucks. But it is a special movie. This movie is so freaking boring. I can't tell you. Nobody tried at all. The performances they all look bored out of their mind. Every sequence adds a new character. I actually counted 30 different characters in this movie because every sequence is like new character, new character, new character, new character. It thinks it's really brilliant, but it's just super slow and super boring. Like, don't ever waste your time watching this movie. It's just not worth my time to talk about anymore. It's just a boring movie. The aliens looked cool. There's my praise. That's the one thing that's good about this movie. Because the rest of this movie is boring trash. It's like, I felt like this movie was supposed to be boring. Wow, how what? This movie, I swear to God, they were just like, let's make the most boring movie ever. And then you got Captive State. And it is so freaking bad.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Call it crazy, and yet, is there anything better than this? Life just couldn't be better than...
I'm just going to come out of the gate and say it. I would rather stab a pen in my eyes, 2 pens, just stab them in my eyes, than ever see, I'd rather to do that than ever see another frame from Ugly Dolls. God, I hate this movie. I hate every movie on this list, so what do I know? Look, I get the movie needs to be an hour and a half, but this movie felt like 3 hours. It is horribly animated. The character designs are awful. They're ugly. That's the point. Why are they're not appealing to look at? They're hateable characters in the first place. They're really annoying. The comedy's awful. It is not funny. The music sucks. It is just cliche modern pop. So what is this movie worth? Nothing. It's not worth me talking about it anymore. It's just an insulting, boring, lousy movie. And I hate the fact that people liked this because I just couldn't sit through this movie. I actually went to this movie alone. I sat in the very back corner, and when Pitbull started to rap, I put my head in my face and screamed to myself, God almighty, what has our race become? Holy crap, this movie.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Oh my God. I'm a real thug. I'm an OG MADEA.
A Medea Family Funeral is the first Medea film I've ever seen, and it's the last Medea film I will ever watch. I think this is supposed to be the conclusion. Thank God almighty it's the conclusion, because this movie is not funny. As clever as Tyler Perry thinks it is, as clever as he thinks his social commentary is or something, it's not. It's not clever. It's just exceedingly boring and exceedingly not funny. It's just repetitive humor. It's like he thinks these old people arguing is funny. It's not funny. Why is that supposed to be funny? It's not. I don't get the fact that studios said, let's make, like, how many Medea movies are there? I don't even know. They all suck. At least I've only seen one, and I never need to watch another one, because I know the gist that every sequence of this movie is just 20 minutes of just old people arguing. Not funny. It's not funny. It's actually kind of racist. Who said, let's make another Medea movie? Who said that? Who wanted this movie? Nobody likes Medea. Who wanted it? Not me. It's boring and awful.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
That was terrifying, but also kind of exhilarating.
What even was Playmobil? I walked out of this movie with just so many questions. Why was this movie made? Why did they pick the script they did? Why does the movie make no sense? Why did a studio say, yeah, that's the movie we should do? Like, it's just did nobody on this movie understand what made the Lego movie a masterpiece? Did they just watch the Lego movie and think, okay, they went to a bunch of different worlds, it has some tie-in with the real world, and they made jokes, so then they just wrote a script out of that? But the script makes no sense, and it's not funny at all. So what's the point? What is the point? Why is this movie a thing? Who said, yeah, Playmobil. You know what we really need? You know, like, what the movie we really need right now? It's Playmobil the movie. This movie failed. It has one of the lowest openings for a wide release of all time. Thank God almighty, because this movie is just horrible. It had just missed everything the Lego movie did right. It's a ripoff, and it doesn't even know how to rip off. There. And I sat in this theater alone with my brother, like me and him. Only people in the theater. It was great. We got to talk crap about the movie the entire time. And it's not really worth it to the account that I forgot everything that happened in this movie. Just don't watch Playmobil. How about that? How does that sound?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money, money, money.
It's not over yet.
Most of you guys probably haven't actually heard of Drive. It's not a popular film. It's an Hindi action film that went to Netflix. It wasn't released officially on Netflix. It released back in like summer, probably in India, and then they're just like, great, shove that on Netflix. This movie's hilarious. I love this movie so much. It is the one so bad it's good movie of the year. Countdown's funny, but this movie's special. I had a blast with this movie. In fact, one night I watched the first hour of this movie and fell asleep because it's about 2 hours, so I fell asleep halfway through just because, I was tired. And then the next night, I said to my brother, hey, do you want to watch Drive? I rewatched the entire first hour. Didn't regret it. Had a blast watching it the first hour again. And I loved seeing with the way the second hour unfolded. It's like the movie is trying to be a Fast and Furious ripoff. And then it gets bored of that, so it just tries to rip off Ocean's 11. Halfway through for no reason. It's hilarious. It's such a freaking funny movie. It's so miscalculated. The action, right? The entire movie is some of the worst editing I've ever seen. My films are better edited than this movie. And this movie has real cars, real actors, and my movies are more well edited. The action in my movies is better edited, and I have $0. And this company probably has millions of dollars, and the action is hilariously edited. It is just a failure. It is such a funny movie. I swear to God, watch this movie. It is so bad it's good. It is a hilarious movie. And I'm very sad most people don't know about this movie because holy crap, I had a blast with Drive. It easily deserves a spot very high on this list. But it was a lot of fun.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money, money, money.
What are you dreaming about?
But I can officially say with confidence, After wasn't fun at all. Like, okay, look, this movie's not made for me. I know that. I'm a 14-year-old boy. Why would this movie be made for me? But I can still criticize it. Why? Why? Like, why is the acting so terrible? Why am I supposed to root for these characters? Why is this supposed to be a likable girl? Why is this supposed to be a likable guy? Why is this supposed to be a cute relationship? Why am I supposed to even believe that it's a relationship? Why is it PG-13? Why does it end halfway through and not even try to finish its story? What? Who made this? Honestly, who? I don't get it. It's so horrible. It is such a horrible film. I don't know. The dialogue is the worst. It is just the worst in every way. This is one of the worst movies of the decade, far and away. And it's so close to number one, but it's not quite. Because last minute, a very special film became number one. But I wish I could give this movie number one. Because it is the worst. And I cannot tell you how much I hate it after. But it's not the worst movie of the year. Because one movie stood above something I never thought I'd do. And was like, hey, Mark, why don't you give a movie a 0 out of 10 walking out of the theater? Why don't you hate your life after watching a movie? Well, this movie successfully did that, and you will all know the movie already. You all already know what number one is. How could you not?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money, money, money.
A new day has begun.
Horse Cats is the worst movie of the year. No doubt about it. This movie was the worst. First of all, it's the first time, I've already said this, but it's the first time I walked out of the film and I thought to myself, no, that doesn't even deserve a 1. It deserves nothing. Just a complete 0 out of 10, which is very rare. The last time I did that was The Last Airbender in January. It's been like almost a full year since I've even given a 0 out of 10. But the animation, I can't stress it any farther. The animation is so unbelievably horrible. Somebody actually, this is a crazy thought, but somebody actually said, yes, that's a good design. The entire world should see that. Nobody should ever have to watch Cats. Nobody should. There's not a plot. It's just cats dancing. Horrifying cats dancing. There's no character. I didn't even know what was going on half the time because it's not explained. This is the worst theater experience I've ever had. I had the temptation to just get up and walk out. Thanks for my friend texting me because I need that right now after ranting on about cats. Why? I don't know. But somebody said that cats should be made. Who? Who said that? Who? This movie is the worst thing. It's in the top 10 worst films I've ever seen. This movie should not ever be shown to a human again. Cats is easily the worst movie I've seen this whole year. After looks like The Dark Knight compared to Cats. Holy crap. Guys, it's over. I don't need to talk about any of these movies ever again. I still might do a spoiler review for The Rise of Skywalker because I really want to talk spoilers. I just haven't had the time. I might still not do that because everybody else is already bombarded that movie spoiler talk. Even if I hated all 10 of these movies and every honorable mention on this list, there were still good movies this year. I'm not saying every movie that came out this year was awful because there are... This next list... I'm telling you, this next list, the next one is so good. Like, you will see my top 5 and you'll think, I wanted all of those 5 to be number 1, but not, they're all the best movie of the year. How about that? I can't wait to show you my top 10 best movies of the year. We had some incredible movies this year. One of the best years of cinema, really. But there was still a bunch of crap, which we just talked about. Now I'm done with that. It's off on my schedule. And the last time I'll ever talk about these crap movies again is the 2020 MTS Movie Awards, which I'll announce soon. End of the year videos are what's next. I'm probably only going to do a top 10 worst, top 10 best, and then I'll do MTS Movie Awards because I don't really want to do it surprising and disappointing again. That was fun last year, but I don't care anymore. I didn't really... They didn't even do well view-wise. And then I'll do my live stream at the end where I rank every single movie. I do that on New Year's Eve, which is now just going to be a tradition from now on. Tomorrow I'll review a movie. It'll either be Little Women, which looks good to me, or Uncut Gems, which I really want to see. So we'll see which movie I watch, but I'll watch one of those movies and then you'll get my top 10 best. One of those movies, I'm pretty sure Little Women will make the honorable mentions, and if I see Uncut Gems, I'm pretty sure it'll make the top 10, so I want to see it. Just so I can say, hey, I tried to watch every movie this year. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about these horror movies again. There were no R-rated movies on this year because I don't care. I don't want to watch crap R-rated movies. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye. I'm so happy I got this list over with.